松下整形塾ああいうことやるからいけない。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We had very active photo session. Now we have to start the event. Thank you for coming today to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan. My name is Khaldun Azhari. I'm the president and I have the honor to host this event today and moderate it. We have very outstanding and very influential, still political leader here was Miss Makiko Tanaka. She's a former minister of Japan, and she was very active politician in the last decade during the LDP and other parties affiliation. And of course, everybody knows that she is a descendant of a very high-level political family. Her father is the charismatic Makiko Tanaka. He was a prime minister of Japan in the 70s. And she also was in the LDP, and she moved to other parties later in the years before she retired from politics in 2012, I think. And now she told us at the ante-room that she saw that in Nagatacho it's very crowded and there's a big confusion that makes her try to avoid getting back to politics. But maybe she has other hidden agenda. She might tell us about it today. Tanaka Sensei won her first seat in 1993 for the LDP. And we know that she was involved in many committees at the Parliament and in the Jiminto, and she was popular because she speaks directly, especially to housewives, as I saw in many TV commentaries. She got a high rating votes of the Japanese ladies and housewives. So I think she can talk to this segment of the society in the way they really understand politics. Sometimes when we talk to politicians, we don't know what they say, but I think Tanaka Sensei, she tells the facts directly and without any borders. There's no firewire when she talks to us. That's what we expect today. Before we start the event, let me introduce our second vice president, FCCJ vice president, Mr. Gregory Clark. He also was active in those years when Tanaka-san was also doing some activities. At his left is Mr. Matt Douglas. He's the interpreter today. We will have about 30 minutes speech, and maybe less or more, and that will be followed by questions and answers, maybe in Japanese and English. Basically, we have Mr. Matt to tell us about that. Thank you very much again, and please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest speaker, Makiko Tanaka, former foreign minister. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Well, President Azhari, thank you so much for your kind introduction and invitation to this luncheon. And I've enjoyed the lunch immensely. It was good. Well, anyhow, I think this is my fourth time visit to this Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan. Fourth time. And Mr. Hirscher from Germany and Mr. Gregory Clark, they are my old friends. And we, three of us, are really astonished that we are still alive, three of us. We are same generations. And this is a great honor for me anyway to be here. And as I remember that my first visit here was sometime around 1993 or 4, when I was elected to the member of the House of the Representatives. And second and third I forgot, and this is the fourth time. And obviously my father made a speech in 1994, was it, Mr. President? So there's a wonderful picture of my father up there. 74, really?
No, not 94.
94. No, 74. You are right. So, ちょっと上がってました。すみません。So,
Excuse me.
that's right. Yes, right. Thank you. Thank you for your good advice. とにかく今日は大変喜んで伺いました。By the kind advice and support assistance by Mr. Douglas from Australia, I will do my best. And I remember when I first made a speech at this club, I introduced myself as a typical Japanese Yamato Nadeshiko. Do you know what that means? I don't see why you start learning. I'm laughing. So that means a typical Japanese demure, modest, and very silent young lady. So I introduced myself like that. And after 25 years since then, you will find the difference, or maybe no difference, according to my speech. いいですか？日本語でやらせていただいて、今のこの時代、今日は実はプレスの方は数人しかいないと思っておりました。この永田町の騒ぎですから、やっとこの大きな騒ぎになってよかったなと思っています。ずっとこれを待ってたんですから。
If I could go into Japanese now, I was actually expecting to see very few press here today, but based upon what's happening in Nagatacho at the moment, there's great turmoil over there, so it's great to see so many people here.
私は安倍さんを別に憎らしいなんて思ってませんし、彼は同期です、当選同期ですし、とても人柄はいいとずっと思っていますが、政治家としては1回目に総理になった時にすぐリザインされた、あれがあの方の値打ちだなとずっと思っていました。
I am actually quite pleased to see that there's now finally something happening in Nagatacho. I was elected at the same time as Prime Minister Abe some years ago, and I quite liked him as a politician, but when he became Prime Minister the first time, he resigned quite quickly, and I think that was the measure of the man.
なぜかと言いますと、今の日本というのは過去の歴史を簡単にレビューしてみれば分かりますけれども、1945年の7月ですか、ポツダム宣言、あれを受諾して、そして1989年にベルリンの壁が崩れて、この時から世界は大きな変動が始まったわけです。
If you look back at the history, the Potsdam Declaration was accepted by Japan in July, I think, of 1945, and then in 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall. These mark very significant changes that have occurred over the past decades.
そして1990年代の後半に日本では我が国ではバブル経済が崩壊しました。で、問題はこの時にちょうどインターネットというものが世界中に非常に普及した時期だということです。
And then in the late 1990s, the Japanese economic miracle broke, the bubble burst, and at the very same time, the internet gained widespread popularity around the world.
2008年のリーマンショック、この金融危機ですけど、これになって21世紀はドラマティックな変化を迎えました。
In 2008, the so-called Lehman Brothers shock, or the financial crisis, brought in the 21st century, which has since been a very dramatic century.
この21世紀に入って何かというと、先ほど言ったそのソーシャルメディアが発達して、人、物、お金、情報が世界中にリアルタイムで同時に伝播するようになったわけです。
As we've entered the 21st century with the advent of social media, there has been a free flowing of people, things, money, and information in real time around the globe.
で、グローバル市場というのは誰ももうコントロールすることができませんね。ヘッジファンドなんかありますけれども、本当に政治的な意図を持ってこのグローバルマーケットというものをコントロールはできない。そこに一番大きな特徴があるんです。21世紀のスタートとして。
Here at the beginning of the 21st century, I think one of the characteristics of our era is that global markets are unable to be tamed. There are such things, of course, as hedge funds, but even so, global markets do not bend to any political will.
世界が今そのナショナリスティックとまでは言いませんけど、特にヨーロッパにおいてフランス、それからオランダ、 イタリアも今ちょっといろんな政党が当選して組閣ができない状態にいますけれども、イギリスもそうですし、ドイツまでもはですね、いろんな政党が乱立してナショナリスティックな方向に流れていく傾向になっている。その理由はこのグローバル化というものにあると思います。要するに国家とグローバリズムというもののコンフリクト、葛藤があると思うんです。世界中どこの政権もそのことがですね、内向きにしています。
We also see a trend towards nationalism around the world. Maybe it's too strong to say nationalism, but if we look towards Europe, we see similar movements in France, Holland, Italy. Some parties have come to the fore, even in the United Kingdom. And actually, even in Germany, we see similar trends towards nationalism. We see lots of different parties coming to the fore. And I think that this comes about because of the basic conflict between nationalism and the nation state, between globalization, I should say, and the nation state. That is at the basis of the conflicts of the 21st century.
で、ヨーロッパなんかことにですね、難民問題、レフュージーの問題があって、これ以上難民が入ってくると自分たちの職が奪われるとか、それから治安の問題とか、そういうことがあって、だんだんみんな内向きになってディフェンシブにならざるを得ない状態になっている。これは理解できるんですが、じゃあなぜ難民が出るようになってきているかということをまず考えなきゃいけない。
Nationalism is one reaction against globalization, I believe. And if we look towards to Europe, we see a great influx of refugees. Many people are worried about this influx because of their jobs and also national security reasons. But the reason for this is because people are becoming defensive against globalization. But people should look at why these refugees are moving in the first place.
で、世界には今70億の人口が地球上に乗っかっていると。70億人。そしてその民族っていうのは文化とか宗教とかですね、そういうものが共通しているものを民族としてくくるとすれば、6000から1万2000ぐらいの民族が地球上にいるということになります。ここでも日本人があって、オーストラリアがいて、シリアの方がおられて、世界中の方がおられるわけですから、それだけの方、人種が、民族がいるということです。
Today there are around 7 billion people on this planet, divided into many different religions and ethnicities. And if we look at the number of ethnicities alone, people who have a common cultural framework, there are around 6,000 to maybe 12,000 ethnicities around the world. People from Japan, people from Australia, Syria, people on this stage. And all of these people constitute the many races of the planet.
最近、竹光という比較文化論の本を書いた方の本を読みましたけど、その世界地図から歴史を読むという本なんですね、タイトルが。その中でこの数字が出ていました。
Takemitsu-san. A book written by Mr. Takemitsu, which is about comparative cultural studies. It looks at the world map to look at understanding the world more deeply.
The world history,
the world history more deeply.
そして世界の飢餓人口というのが8億人を今超えているそうです。9人に1人、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、9人に1人は、栄養失調で苦しんでいる。そして世界中の作っている食料ですね、海の幸、山の幸、あらゆるものの3分の1相当は捨てられているということです。
If we look at the world population, those who are living in poverty and in danger of starvation is a total of 8 million people in that situation. 1/9 of the world's population have facing up to malnutrition, and also 1/3 of the food around the world is thrown away before being eaten.
そうなると宗教、文化の違いを超えてやっぱり飢餓の問題、スターベーションの問題、それからお金が欲しくても働く場がない、それは戦争の問題もあるけど、戦争が起こる理由はいわゆる文化的な背景だとかで戦争になると、ますます食料もなくなってくるし、働く場もなくなる、そういうバズサイクルがぐるぐる回っていて難民になってくるということです。
So the basis of wars come from a lot of these different differences in religion and culture. We should overcome these, but there are many factors behind why wars exist. Of course, starvation, not having enough work, and the differences in culture are sometimes given as the reason for this. But what we should be focusing on is the vicious cycle that not having access to food or work has on conflict around the world.
ご存知の通り、今世界中は中国を無視して生活ができない状態になっています。それはなぜかと言いますと、中国という国はですね、56の民族があって、去年の秋も中国に日中国交45周年で45th anniversary ですね、で行きましたけれども、その時にも何民族いますかって言うと、みんなが政府の人がちょっと待ってって数え直すほどいろんな民族いるらしいんですが、公式には56だそうです。そのうちの 91% は漢民族ですね。でそういう国ですから、私は中国っていう国はUnited States of China って言った方がいいんじゃないかと思うぐらいで、その国がやっぱりGo West、 今回も私ワンイーっていう外務大臣すごく昔からよく知ってて、うちにも来てるし私も家族も知ってるので、ワンイーに会いたいと言ったら、これ余談ですが、3人会いたい人がいたんです。久しぶりに中国に行ったのでワンイーに会いたい。それからうちの父とマオツォトン、周恩来の時の通訳をやった王光健さん、それからもう一人は今の新しい共産党の通訳、幹部の一番上の人の通訳をやってる男の子は若い子がいるんですけども、林明誠で、彼にこの3人だけは会いたいと言ったら、ワンイーが一番難しいんじゃないでしょうか、やりますと言ったんですね、中国政府が。一番初めに返事が来たのがワンイーで、ぜひ会いたいとあちらから言ったのを、じゃあ行ってあげようと言って主人と一緒に行って会ったんですが、その時にいろいろ話をしました。やっぱり早すぎたSorry.
China is a country that really cannot be ignored, and if we look at the number of ethnicities within China alone, there are 56. Thank you. I went to visit China, I think it was last year, to celebrate the 45th anniversary of relations between our two countries. And I asked the officials there when I was visiting how many ethnicities there are, and the official answer is 56, but I think that there are many more than that. And 91% of these are Han Chinese, but it's a very diverse country, and so I think we should really be calling that country not just China, but the United States of China. We should be looking west. I have a very close relationship with Wan Yi, the former foreign minister of that country. He's a family friend of ours, and I met with him when I went to China to celebrate that 45th anniversary of relations between our two countries. It was the first time that I had seen him in 3 years, and actually he is said to be one of the more difficult people to meet if you were going to go to China, but I contacted him and was able to meet with him quite easily and quite quickly, and it was great to have a catch up with him and a few other people, including some very wonderful interpreters who are working at the Communist Party, and a few other individuals as well.
3人ともお会いしました。
I met with 3 individuals,
た
including
だ
Wang Yi.
フォレンミニスターワンイーとは家族の話とか個人的なこともいっぱいお話しします。主人と2人で行ったんですけども、顔見知りですから3人で本当いろんなことも喋りましたが、大体北朝鮮の問題どう思うかというふうなことも話しました。
I met him with my husband, and we talked a lot about our family issues as well. He's quite a shy individual, but of course the issue of North Korea came up.
中身の細かいことは言えませんけれども、日本の政府が少なくとも北朝鮮に今シチュエーション変わってきています。トランプ大統領が会うというのは私は良かったと思ってるんですけれども、時点で去年の秋の時点で非常にクリティカルな状態でしたね。その時に日本はもっと中国がノースコリアにプレッシャーをかけて中国がやるべきだと。アメリカもそう言ってます。日本はアメリカのコピーするだけですから、安倍さんはね、そう言ってました。
Of course, I can't go into details about what we discussed, but of course we discussed the Japanese government's position on North Korea, and things are changing very much as we speak. I hear that President Trump is going to meet with the leader of that country, and I think that's a great development. But last autumn, when I was speaking about this, it was a very critical stage in North Korea, and at that point, Japan was trying to put pressure on China to put pressure on North Korea to bring about a solution to the situation on that peninsula. Of course, the United States is trying to do exactly the same thing, to have China put pressure on North Korea, and of course Japan is just copying whatever America does.
ポイントだけを言うと、中国はできることはやっていると。しかし難しいことが 3つある。1つは違う民族で違う国家、拉致問題もそうですよね。できることはやると。拉致問題についてはevery time we go to China、私たちが夫婦で行くたびにいつもこの問題、私たちは個人的な話、政府のトップで中国でやってます。けど国はなかなか言うこと聞かない国だっていうのはずっと聞いてきたことで、今回もワン・イーさんがそう言ってました。
However, the Chinese are doing what they can with regards to North Korea. But there are three things, three problems that come up when China is trying to put pressure on that country. And the first one is that they are a different people. They are a different ethnicity. And this is very important when it comes to things like the issue of the abductions. China has, whenever I go to China and officials talk to me personally about this issue, that is one thing that they bring up, that North Korea is a country that does not listen to us. They're different from us.
中国人も北朝鮮に拉致されている。返してほしいと言っても絶対に返してこない。これが一つ。
Chinese nationals have also been abducted by North Korea, and China has asked for them to be returned, just as Japan has, and they have not been returned to China.
二つ目は、習近平が、国際会議をアモイ当時でやったときに、絶対に恥をかかせないでほしいと言ったのに、ニュークリアテスティングをやったと。それが2つ目。
Say the second problem is something that Xi Jinping said to me when I went to a conference in Amoy at the time. He asked for North Korea not to embarrass us at all, but after that, he asked for that to happen. The North Korean regime conducted nuclear testing.
で、北朝鮮と中国との国境の辺に、どことは具体的に言いませんでしたけども、食料倉庫が中国はあると。そこのそばでテスティングをやるんだと。やるなということをやるんだと。あれ違う国だからね、なかなか日本の政府やアメリカが言うみたいに簡単に中国が言えば古文だから言うことを聞くでしょうなんていう関係ではないって言いましたよ。私はそれでよく理解しました。
North Korea conducted nuclear testing somewhere near the border area with China. I'm not exactly sure where it is. The place. It's not exactly clear, but these nuclear tests were conducted right next to the breadbasket of China. This is something, of course, that China does not like. It's often thought that it's easy for China to put pressure on North Korea because they are a client state of that country, but that is not the case.
韓国のハン・スンスさんという昔の駐米大使で、それからフォレンミニスターになった時私のカウンターパートで、奥様は、パク・チョンヒの名護さんでという本当にエスタブリッシュメントです。この方は私と親しくて今もしょっちゅう連絡を取り合ったりクリスマスカードをくださっている。
I have a contact in Korea, Han Soo-si, who was the South Korean ambassador to the United States and also foreign minister, so was one of my counterparts. His wife is the niece of former President Park, so I have a very close relationship with this person.
And we exchanged the Christmas cards.
That's right, yes.
And the last one のクリスマスカードで私お返事で書きました。なんとか北朝鮮の朝鮮半島が統一されるように貧しくて困っているのは北朝鮮の一般国民だから、今回のオリンピック、ピョンチャンオリンピックを機会に、私はあんな人たちが来る、たくさんあんな偉い人が来る知らなかったですよ。クリスマスカードをエクスチェンジした頃には12月でしたから。ですけども、なんとかあそこが平和になることが、少なくとも日本人が枕を高くして寝るって意味わかりますか？ダブラスさん。そういうの安心して眠れる。夜安心して眠れるということなんですよ。あんなにしょっちゅうテストだって言われたら生きた心地しないじゃないですか。すぐそこなんですから。だからそのためにもなんとかこのピョンチャンオリンピックがそうなることを望むということを書いて送りました。その方向になってきたじゃないですか。喜んでいます。
I exchanged Christmas cards with my counterpart Han in Korea, and at that time I didn't know the situation was going to be like this, but what I wrote in that Christmas card was that the Pyeongchang Olympics was a perfect opportunity for there to be reconciliation on the Korean peninsula. The situation of poverty in that country is falling on the shoulders of the people themselves, and so we really need to do something to help them, and Pyeongchang Olympics would be an ideal opportunity to do so. I didn't know at that time in December last year that that so many high-level officials would be coming to visit the Olympics, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to build peace. It's important for Japan. A country like North Korea conducting nuclear testing means that we can't sleep soundly in our beds at night, so it's important for us to it's difficult to sleep soundly in our beds with such a country next door to us. And so it's great to see that the situation in the Pyongyang Olympics went in the direction that I had hoped it would.
先ほどね申し上げているように違う民族が違う宗教、言語、バックグラウンドが違う人たち一回しかみんな人生は一回しかないんです。それがどうやって一日でも幸せで平和できるかそのために政治があるんです。
I mentioned before that the world is made up of many different cultures and people of different ethnicities, but we must keep in mind that we only live once. We should live our lives in a way that makes us happy and peaceful, and politics is the means by which we achieve this.
トランプ大統領っていうのは皆さんどう思っておられるか、アメリカ大使館の方もいらっしゃってるようですから分かりませんけれども、まあ変わったおっさんだなと、よくまあアメリカもここまであんな変わった親父を出すもんだと思って見てました。
I'd like to make some comments on President Trump. I'm not sure what you think of him. I believe that there may be some representatives from the United States Embassy here today, so I will choose my words carefully. He's quite an unusual individual. I think
unusual だけじゃないです。peculiar でもあるし。
He's an unusual, peculiar, is it? Yes, a peculiar individual. I'm quite surprised to see that the American people chose such a person to represent them on the world stage.
だってメキシコとの間にボーダーを作るだとか TPP 抜けるだとかですね、それからパリ条約はやめるとかですね、もう言いたいこと言ってるじゃないですか。そして突然今度エルサレムの首都をそこに決めてイスラエルそこにアメリカ大使館を持っていくって本気でやるわけですから、それは彼はそういう考えがあってもアメリカの今までの民主主義、私アメリカでもって高校に行ってますし、たくさんアメリカ人の友達いますし、アメリカ人大好きだし、アメリカ人の一般の人ほど気のいい人たち、本当にグッドウィルを持ってる人って珍しいなと思うぐらいなんだけど、政治家がおかしい。特に最近どうぞ。
President Trump, of course, has said that he will build a wall between Mexico. He is withdrawn from the TPP and the Paris Accord. He says exactly what comes into his mind. He said that he's going to move the American embassy to Jerusalem, and he seems intent on following through on that promise. I've spent much time in the United States. I went there in high school. I had many friends. I love the people. The general population are full of goodwill towards this country, and there's goodwill in both directions. So for the people, I think are fantastic. But the politicians in the United States, there's a problem with the politicians in the United States at the moment.
でもそのトランプさんが今回のキム・ジョンウンも結構これを信じちゃいけないとかっていう安倍さんたちみたいな人たちは世論もあるんでしょうけども、やっぱり本当に困ってると思うんですよ。ですからアメリカとコリアのミリタリートレーニングも やってもいいかもしれないし、自分だって本当に自分の体制を守ってくれるんであったらば自分がニュークリアテスティングをする意味がないじゃないかと、あそこまで言ってるわけですから、やっぱ言葉はまず信じてまず会ってみなきゃいけない。会うというディシジョンをやったトランプさんはやっぱりいいなと思ってます。
When it comes to the North Korean situation and Trump's decision to meet with Kim Jong-un, people like Abe say that we shouldn't believe the North Korean regime what they say, but I think that the North Korean regime is under a lot of pressure at the moment and that they need cooperation. Perhaps the South Korean government could do some military training for North Korea under the understanding that there is a guarantee that that regime will be not toppled. And I think that we should believe the statements of the North Koreans. They're willing to talk. And with that in mind, I'm happy to see that Trump has agreed to meet with the North Korean leader.
頻繁に会って前に進んだり後ろに戻ったりしながらもお互いの最大公約数うまく共存できる方法のために知恵と時間を使ってほしいと思います。
I think we have to have a frequent contact with the North Koreans, go backwards and forwards over a long period of time to come to a position where we can coexist with one another. We need to spend a lot of our efforts and a lot of time to achieve this.
日本の政府が安倍さんがおっちょこちょいにもアメリカに4月に吹っ飛んでってああいうことに騙されないようにした方がいいですよとかあるいはその拉致の問題を解決しなきゃいけないなんてそんなこと余計なこと言うよりか森友問題賭け問題やったらいいじゃないですか財政再建やったらいいじゃないですか仕事山ほどあるのになんでそういうこのストゥピッドなことをやるのか冒頭申し上げたように安倍さんってのはダメだな相変わらずバカだなと思って見てます。
I think Prime Minister Abe went to the United States in April, and he was told by the Americans that don't be fooled by the statements of the North Koreans. And he talks about things like the abduction issues, and there's the scandal to do with Moritomo Gakuen and all sorts of other things. There's so many important issues that he should be dealing with for the reconstruction and revitalization of the nation's finances. So why is he getting caught up in all of these minor issues? I really think he's quite an idiotic person.
拉致問題についてよく私に日本のメディアが言ってくるんですがあなたがフォーレンミニスターの時に小泉内閣の時にあなたは、ディズニーランドに来たキム・ジョン何でしたっけこの間殺されちゃった人今ジョンナムを返しちゃったでしょ返さなかったらば日本人の拉致はみんな帰ってきたでしょもうその質問よく聞くんで私一切もうノーコメントって言うんです。あの時は田中真紀子アドミニストレーションじゃないんです。小泉さんです。小泉さんで外務大臣とそれから女性の法務大臣と防衛大臣と財務大臣と5、6人関係者だけで官邸で会議があったんです。その時に小泉さんは何も言えなくてどうしよう本物かなどんな顔してるのかな見たいなと先週ここのゲストで来た方はそういうことを言ったんですよ。私手帳に書いてあります。福田官房長官も困ったな本物ってそんなことばっかり言ってるんです。で閣僚一人一人に意見を言ってくれと言ったので私はすぐ返したらいいと言ったんです。相手は何やるかわからない。あの時はニュークリアテスティングをやってなかったですけどもテポドンが飛んでくるかもしれないしお父さんが困ってる息子だったんでしょ。それを日本のメディアにさらして何かやったら日本はそれこそテポドンが来るかもしれないしフロッグマンが北朝鮮から来て日本の原発火をつけるかもしれないし何があるかわからない。
I'm often asked by the Japanese media about the issue of abductions, and when I was foreign minister, that was a very hot topic. At that time, I think that one of the sons of the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-nam, who was recently killed, I think, in Malaysia, was in Japan on a false passport, visiting, of all places, Disneyland. Many people, and we returned him to North Korea after this, and some people said that we should have kept him, and if we had done so, it could have been a bargaining chip in getting the Japanese abductees to come back to be returned to Japan. But when I look back at what happened at that time, when I was foreign minister under Prime Minister Koizumi, we had a discussion with the several ministers, including the Minister of Defence, the Minister of Justice, and 4 or 5 others to discuss what we should do. Prime Minister Koizumi looked blankly at me. He didn't really have any idea about what it was that we should be doing, and it was a backwards and forwards thing. The Chief Cabinet Secretary Fukuda was there as well, but nobody really had anything to say. But I stood up and said that we should send him home. We have no idea what the North Korean regime would do if we did not. They might send Tepodong missiles towards Japan. They might send frogman weapons to blow up one of our nuclear power plants. And so I made the strong point that it was important for us to return him to North Korea. He is of course, the son of a leader of a country that's under a great deal of pressure.
キム・ジョンイル当時のキム・ジョンイルさんにですね恥をかかせたらば何をされるかわからないということを思っていたので拉致の問題と取引にするなんて考えはどの閣僚からも一言も出ていません。ましてや小泉さんの口からも。
Kim Jong-il, the leader of North Korea at that time, was a person we should not embarrass under any circumstances. It was definitely not of the same level of the abduction issue. To use that as a bargaining chip in that is definitely was something that I was against, and nobody else at the cabinet said anything against that. I was the one who made that decision.
この問題について一番の問題は小泉さんが安倍晋三 官房副長官を伴って多分お金を持って行ったんじゃないかと思いますけども、まあ秘書さんの飯島さんが先に持ってったのかもしれませんが、行ったじゃないですか。キム・ジョンイルさんに会ったでしょ、小泉さんと安倍さんは。そこでご飯食べて帰ってきちゃった。で拉致はこういう人たちはしてますから返します、帰ってきました。後の人は死にましたと言われて、彼らは帰ってきちゃったんですよ。そこでなんでそんなはずはないと言って外務省が持ってる行方不明者、法務省が持ってる紙を出さなかったんですか。彼らはそこで分かりましたと言ったかどうか知らないけど帰ってきちゃったんですよ。その後事件が起こるたびにノースコリアによるキッドナッピングがどうしたどうした、今度もそのことを言いに安倍さんが行くんでしょ。旅費が無駄だからそんなこと言いに行かなくて結構、自分はやんなかったんですから。
At that time, the North Korean Prime Minister Koizumi visited North Korea along with the Chief Cabinet Secretary at that time, which is the current Prime Minister, Mr. Abe. They went, had dinner, they ate with the North Korean leader at the time, Kim Jong-il, and discussed the issue of abductions and came back to Japan, and that became a huge political issue. The North Koreans began saying that some of these people had died since and could not be returned, and it became a huge political issue in Japan that has been used by Abe as a stick to bash a tool for Prime Minister Abe to use ever since.
帰ってきてから残りの方たちはほとんどの人が死にました、何さんは病死しました、なんとかです、入国していませんと言われたことについて、福田官房長官が記者会見をするのを嫌がって植竹と、私が外務大臣の時に2人、バイスフォーレンミニスターいました。そのうちの1人植竹さんが確かあそこの外務省の飯倉高官ですね、飯倉高官に呼んで、めぐみさんのご両親も呼んで、あなたは死にました、あなたは病気です、あなたは入国していませんということを植竹さんが言わさせられたの。本当だったらば安倍さんが言うとかですね、官房副長官が官房長官が言うべきなんだけど、嫌なことになると言わない。植竹さんはもう辛かったと言います。あの時に横田めぐみさんのお父さんが号泣大泣きしたのが日本中に報道されたじゃないですか。
There were many people who were abducted by the North Koreans, kidnapped, but we have to give information about each and every one of them. Some of them died because of illness, some of them did not go into that country, and all of this information should have been given by the then Chief Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Fukuda, but he didn't want to do that press conference, and so we called in an alternative person to talk to the people who were concerned, Mr. Uetake. We also called in the parents of Megumi, one of the famous abductees, and gave them information about what had become of them.
だからせっかく平壌まで行ったんですから、キム・ジョンイルに会ったんですから、なんでもっとしっかり頑張らなかったのか、そのことを一切言わずに、国内政治が困ると拉致問題かわいそうだから、みんなかわいそうと思ってますよ。すぐ解決してほしいですよ。せっかくのチャンスを彼らは使わなかったじゃないですか。そしてまたトランプお父さんに言いつけてあげるから、あんなことやって北朝鮮はアブダクションの問題もそうだし、ミサイルの問題もあるし、僕は4月に行かなきゃ違うんでしょ。モルドモから逃げたいんですよ。自殺者が出たことは分かった時に言ってんですよ。彼は内部の情報によると、彼は大蔵省の関西財務局の自殺は結構早く知ってるんですよね。その時に突然アメリカに行く、じゃあアメリカ人になったらいい。
There was a great chance then at that time, the Prime Minister and Abe-san at that time had met with Kim Jong-il. It was a great opportunity for them to come to a resolution on this issue. Why did they not try harder to do this, to come to a resolution? But whenever there is a political problem, a domestic political problem in Japan, it's very easy for Prime Minister Abe to bring up the issue of abductions, to say, oh, these people are in a terrible state, how poor, look at those poor people. It's used as a way to deflect attention away from domestic problems that he has. Of course, currently there's the scandal to do with Moritomo, and I believe that information about the suicide of one of the officials in the Kinki branch of the Financial Bureau came to light by Prime Minister Abe earlier than it came to the attention of the media. And it's during all of this turmoil, he made an announcement that he would go and visit the United States. If he's going to go and visit the United States at this period of time, why doesn't he just become an American citizen?
あと5分しかありませんから早口で喋ります。急ぎましょう、ダグラスさん。
I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to talk
経
quite
済問
quickly.
題、財政規律、これはもうこの政権の前からですけれども、財政規律を日本は守らなきゃいけない。国と地方の借金は全部足して1093兆円もあります。1093兆円の借金がある。GDP の2倍の借金を日本は抱えています。国民1人当たり赤ちゃんも含めて1000万円の借金がある。なのに無駄遣いをいっぱいやっている。
Let me turn my attention now to the economy for the last 5 minutes of my speech. Japan has a huge national debt, including not just public but private debt, of around 1,903 trillion yen. If we divide that equally between every man, woman and child in the country, that amounts to around 10 million yen per person.
そして要するに日本は何か事件が起こったりするとすぐ今の政権は特にこの5、6年間ですね、解散をしたり、それから国会をすぐ閉めちゃったり、組閣をやったりして目くらましをして自分の一番大事な問題に正確に正面から取り組もうとしてきませんけど、この財政再建、財政の健全化、このことはもう待ったなしで一番やらなきゃいけない問題なんです。
There's been many problems in Japanese politics over the last 5 or 6 years when this government has been in power, and whenever they face something difficult, what they do is they dissolve parliament and go to an election. And one of the most important things for them to do is to rebuild the nation's finances, but they never face up to this important issue. They are blinded to this and just go to an election.
私が考えているのは、国は財政を再建するために一番大事な問題は税収をどうやって増やすかでと入りです。そしてもう一つは社会保障ですね。どうやって充実していくかと。来年になると団塊の世代、ベイビーブーマーと言われている方たちが70歳を超えてしまいますから、そういう中でもって社会保障問題をどうするか、どうやって税収を得るか、この2つが一番のポイントだと思っています。
The thing that I see as the most important issue on the economic front is how to increase our tax revenues and also to create a proper social security network. The baby boomers will turn, on average, will turn 70 next year, and so how is it that we're going to be able to finance these people's social security benefits?
受益と負担、ベネフィット&バーデン、このことを日本人は考えずにいるし、政治家も考えていなさすぎると思います。ベネフィットを受けるためにはどういうバーデンがあるか。私はこれ複数税制、これ長いこと国会で言ってきました。最近公明党が言っていますが、複数税制にして日本はだいたい 20% ぐらいの消費税にしないと立ち行かなくなると思います。立ち行かないです。
What we need to focus on is benefits and burdens, our income and our expenditure. The Japanese people have not thought about these issues, and to an embarrassing extent, even the politicians are not thinking about these very important issues. I, even during my tenure as a politician in the Diet, advocated for a graduated tax scheme, and I think actually the Komeito has recently joined me in calling for such a tax system. In order to rebuild the finances, we also need to raise the goods and services tax to at least 20%.
これは日用品、生活必需品には消費税をかけない方が私はいいと思ってるんです。複数税制でダブルなんて言いますか、複数税率は何て言いますか。
A graduated taxation system.
ですから一般の、食料品、日用品にはかけないんです。消費税ゼロ。一般の人が生きるために必要なものには。ただし高額所得者に対して高級なもの、三木本の真珠のネックレス、クルーザーを買います、飛行機はファーストクラスでパリスに行くという人たちには 20%。 取れるとこからいっぱい取る。
Let me explain what I mean by this graduated tax system with various rates. For example, we should not be putting value-added tax or GST, goods and services tax, on basic necessities of life, things like food and drink, that are required for the general public to survive. But we should be putting high taxes on luxuries such as cruises or first-class tickets to Paris. That's where we can get as much money from places where we can tax people who can afford to pay.
戦後の日本のこのシステムは みんなイクオリティ、みんなイクオル、平等、同じ、差をつけちゃいけない。それが全てのシステムでうまく今までは機能してきましたけども、ここのところ過去十何年間もう全くこれが足を引っ張ってるんです。すなわち高額、お金いっぱい持ってるお年寄りは年金も医療も、年金は減らす、医療はたくさん払ってもらったり。
The post-war system of Japan is based on the ideal of equality, of sameness, of that there's no differences between everyone. And that system worked quite well for many, many years. But over the last 10 to 20 years or so, this system has no longer operated as it was first imagined. There are a lot of old people with a lot of money, but these people still get paid the pension and get their medical expenses covered as well.
不幸にも身体に障害がある方たちとか、年収200万円以下の方たちがたくさんおられます。今私はマキコタナカファンド for Public Happiness というものを立ち上げまして、そこでご飯食べられない子どもたちだとか難民の援助に一生懸命働いて、今日は講演料はいただかないようですけども、講演料でありますだとか本の出版料でありますとか、その他あらゆるものを全部別口座を作って、そのファンドから寄付をしています。特に日本でも東京なんか特にご飯の食べられない子どもたちがいっぱいいるんです。
Sadly, there are people who have disabilities or other reasons why they cannot earn money, and people earn beneath 2 million yen per annum. That's a terrible situation. And so I set up the Tanaka Fund for Public Happiness, which provides support to people in the shape of food and also support to refugees. I donate my speaking fees. I'm not getting a speaking fee here today. But I also donate some of the proceeds of my books to this fund to provide support to these less fortunate people. It's sad to say that there are even people here in Tokyo who do not have enough to eat.
あとはまた怒られちゃいそうです。エネルギー問題。財政とエネルギー、環境ですけど、私の一番の問題はエネルギー問題です。
Next, I'd like to move on to the energy and the environment. First of all, one of the most important things I think is energy.
2011年3月、ちょうど7年前の地震津波、福島原発あって、123号機のうちの1と3はハイドロジンエクスプロージョンを起こして、全体の3号機全部がメルトダウンを起こしたということはご存知の通りです。
As you know, we've just gone past the 7th anniversary of the March 11th earthquake and tsunami and nuclear meltdown in Fukushima. Plants number 1, 2, and 3 were in a terrible situation. There are hydrogen explosions in both the reactor number 1 and 3.
村山内閣の科学技術庁長官になっている私は原子力エネルギー問題、これはもう世界共有の問題ですが、特に原子力問題については関心を持っていて、日本中のあらゆるそういうサイトの視察はしました。
When I was in the Murayama government, and I had a great deal of interest in nuclear issues at that time, it's not just a Japanese problem, it's one from all around the world. And so I learned from many experts in this field during that time.
現在福島県の被災ところ国道6号線沿いですけれども、あそこのところは東京都の2分の1の面積なんです。3万4000ヘクタールあります。そこの 90% 以上の土地がですね、ソイルポリューションになっていて、セシウム137、一番影響力の多い放射線、それがですね 90% 以上の土地に今現在あるというのが最も直近のデータです。
Looking at the situation today in Fukushima, around the area around route number 6 in that part of the country, around half of that municipality, which accounts to 34,000 hectares, is polluted with cesium-137, which has an extremely deleterious impact on health. 90% of that area.
今現在も東京の1500倍の放射線量が地域にあるというのが正確なデータです。役所から私取り寄せましたから先週。
I got the most up-to-date information, and the level of radiation in that area is 1,500 times higher than it is here in Tokyo. That's the data that I just looked into.
そして汚染の環境が今現在ですよ。食物連鎖によって、circulation of population、pollution、circulation of pollution がですね、今現在まだ続いているんです。それはフードチェーンがあるからです。植物があって動物があって鳥があって、フードチェーンでもそれがぐるぐる回っているんです、現実に。
unfortunately, this radiation has entered the food chain, so this pollution is not staying put, it's moving around. There are animals, there are birds, and this spreads the radiation around.
そして今現在120万ものですね指定廃棄物核廃棄物が120万トンあそこに置き去りにされていてどこに収容すればいいか分かっていないと同時に日本全体の6カ所村でありますとか青森県東海茨城県そこらは全部視察してますがそこにも一応仮置きということになっていますけどもそこにも処分できない行く先のないpolluted のなんて言いますかウェイストニュークレアウェイストがあるんです、これどうするのかと。
There are 1.2 million tons of contaminated waste because of the Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power plant accident. What do we do with all of this? And there is also waste in all corners of Japan, in Rokkosho, in Aomori, in Tokai, in Ibaraki. I've been to see all of these places myself. And we're talking about some temporary storage locations for these sites, but no one knows what to do with them, how to deal with this situation in the long term. What do we do with it?
So,結論はですね私は政治家は言いたくないでしょうねでもあそこは一部帰還して帰りたいっていう人帰って懐かしいでもそこにはですね生活ができるものがお店もショップも床屋さんも何もない帰りたい年寄りは帰っても自分の人生短いかもしれないけれど若い人はこれは難しいんですそれを政治家は言ってどこに核のゴミを捨てるかお気の毒だけどあそこかもしれませんよ今通産省エネルギー庁は一生懸命日本中聞いてもらってお宅どうですかお宅どうですかって言ってるんですみんなノーアメリカの基地沖縄と基地の問題と核のゴミの問題はみんな嫌なんです電気も欲しい安全も欲しいけどゴミは困る騒音は困る飛行機が落っこってくるのも困るそれが今の日本人なんですそれを解決策をこうですよというのが政治家でしょそれをしてないのが安倍さんじゃないですかその前もそうこれから出てくる多分皆さんに質問次は誰かなってみんなダメ同じ人たちですから日本の悲劇はいい政治家を育てられない制度であり国民がある程度豊かになってきてあまり政治に関心を持たなくなってしまったということです
The conclusion is something that politicians do not want to say. They don't have the courage to do so. There are people who want to go back to that area. They want to go back to the places that they grew up, but they're going back to a place with no shops, with no barber shops, with no life, basically. So perhaps some old people with a shorter life expectancy will be able to go back to these areas, but for young people, it will be very difficult to return. And this is the thing that politicians don't want to say, even though it's the case. It's really sad for them, but that's the situation on the ground. The government is going around to all corners of the country to ask local governments if they would host this nuclear waste, and wherever they go, the answer is no. No one wants it. This situation is very similar to the Okinawa, the United States bases in Okinawa. No one wants to have that in their backyard, and so people don't want. They want electricity and they want to have national security, but they don't want to have waste, and they don't want to have the noise that would accompany a base. That's the level of political debate that is happening in Japanese politics today. But it should be the role of politicians to put forward responses and conclusions to how to get around these problems. But unfortunately, we don't see any politicians of that caliber today. The tragedy of Japanese politics is that our country has been unable to build up a base of good politicians, and because the Japanese population has a high level of living standards, they don't have a great deal of interest in politics. That, I think, is the tragedy of Japan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your insights. No, we would like to open the floor to your questions and her answers. Please proceed to the front mic and state your name and affiliation. And one question, please. Please.
Hirusha-san.
Hilscher, Gebhard Hilscher, freelance journalist from Germany. Listening to you, you sound like the type of leader Japan should have.
Oh.
It's too bad that you are already 74 and don't want to campaign for new leadership. But how can, do you have any proposal how the misery of the political situation, particularly on the opposition side, which is broken up in small groups, etc., how can they produce an alternative to Mr. Abe to challenge him, because he can do anything he wants because he has all the majorities. For instance, there was one little movement that gave some hope, that is when Mr. Edano started to re-establish himself. Right. Do you see any hope, and do you have any proposals how, shall we say, a stronger opposition can appear again? I mean, there was the Japan used to have, for instance, you mentioned the Murayama government. They used to be a member of the Murayama government, and at that time the Socialist Party was still 150 or something.
Oh, yes.
There's now have barely 1 or 2 members in parliament. That's all. Fukushima-san is all that's left. There's no big opposition. How can we solve that problem and to get somebody who is as qualified as you with a majority to back the leader up? What's your proposal for that?
Okay.
ヒルシャ。
ヒルシャさん、
はい
南ドイツ新聞。
はい、ドイツ出身のフリーランスジャーナリスト
あ、そうそうそう
です。
あ、そう。
はい、
同じ顔
残念な
してどうしてですか。あ、わかりました。
フリージャーナリストの立場で。
あ、そうですか。
だから今別に会社の勤めじゃなくてもう
Okay, fine. Okay. Let's talk about it later, okay?
はい、ドイツ出身のフリーランスジャーナリストです。
いいですか、時間が待たないって怒られちゃうから。
OK。
多分分かったと思う。今のですね、何年になりますかね、この小選挙区制度、これはやめた方がいい。これやるとですね、近所の人が手を挙げてね、しょっちゅう会ってるから、うちの葬式に来たからとかね、こういう人に投票するようになってるので、本当のいい政治家を投票する制度ではない。あまりに自民党がお金の問題だとかですね、1970年、80年代にそういう時代だったから、もうあれは嫌だということで、もっと広くあまねく人が参加できるようにということで、この小選挙区にしたんだけど、その時私も参加してました、自民党にいて。ただ、4、5年したら見返しをやりませんかと、見直しをしないと、これがもう本当に安定しちゃうと、この制度大変かもしれないですよという提案はしました。けれども、そんなことする必要ない、お前、女の代議士黙ってろなんて言われました、私、自民党で。で、うちの父は野党の時に、あまりに社会党、共産党が反対、田中反対っていうもんで、小選挙区制度だったらいいな、何でも法案が通っちゃうからって言ったことがある。それが小選挙区制度なんです。はい、どうぞ。
I think one of the main problems with Japanese politics is the single-member constituency issue. This leads to politicians coming from local areas just based upon local connections. For example, that person came to my grandmother's funeral, so I should vote for them. That's the kind of reasons that people give for selecting people in such a system. This was brought in because of concerns about money in politics, especially during the LDP governments of the 70s and 80s. And the idea was that single-member constituencies would bring regular people into politics. But after 4 or 5 years, I saw that this was not a good system, and I made a proposal that we should change it. But people inside the LDP said, "You little one, you should shut up. Don't make that proposal." And people said that I was just against things, but I wanted to change it because I saw there was a weakness in this system, as I mentioned.
それから父の時代も父が首相の時ね、そうしたあまり抵抗勢力が多かったから、小選挙区制度にしちゃえば、もう自由にできて小選挙区っていいんだよな、権力者が思うようにできるからって、今そうなっちゃいました。
During the time that my father was the leader of Japan, he wanted, I think, to introduce such a system because it would have meant that he had more power to push things through Parliament with the single-member constituency, but it was not something that would happen at that time.
必要なことは議員の質を上げること。それにはもう私テストしかないと思う。候補者になる前に before becoming the candidate テストをやること。 常識、安倍さん、麻生さんみたいにこの字が読めないとかね、何とかがわからないとかね、役人からこんなこと言われてね、そうなんだ。それからね、基本的な民法とかね、最近刑法も必要かもしれないから、安倍昭恵さんも刑法の勉強した方がいいかもしれないけど、とにかく法律の勉強、世界の歴史、4文字熟語そういうことを少しテストさーっとやらせてね、それでもって80点以上取った人たちはYou can be the candidate of this party or the other、 そういうふうにやっていかないとレベルが上がらない。
The most important thing for us to focus on is improving the quality of candidates, of parliamentarians. We should introduce a test before someone could become a candidate for parliament. They should be tested on things like common sense. They should be tested for things like, can they read Japanese characters, which is something that some politicians today cannot. They should have a basic understanding of civil law. I think perhaps, especially for politicians today, they need to have a strong understanding of criminal law. I believe that probably Prime Minister Abe and his wife are studying up on that right now. They should also learn about world history, and only people who get a score of 80% or more should be allowed to run for parliament.
あともちろん経済の貸借対照表の読み方ぐらい。貸借対照表分かりますか？バランスシートとかね。あとは何でしたっけ、もう一つは。損益計算書ね、そういうものの読み方ぐらいが分からないと財政分からない。基本的に経済の仕組みをテストすること。
They should also be tested upon their economic literacy. They should know how to read a balance sheet. They should know what profit and loss sheets are all about. And without that understanding, how can they run a country?
そして国会議員の数を減らす。衆議院も参議院も500人、衆議院300、参議院200でも多すぎる。どうぞ。
We should also reduce the number of parliamentarians in the Diet. There's 500, I think 300 in the lower house and 200 in the upper house. That's too much.
そして通年制、1年間ずっと議員で間中通年国会にする。安倍さんみたいに都合が悪くなるからパッとドア閉めちゃうとかね、2週間ぐらいやってパッと閉めたらそんなことしない。
The parliament should also be open all year round. It should not be closed. When something goes wrong for Prime Minister Abe, he just shuts the doors of parliament for a couple of weeks and waits for it to blow over.
で月給も時給とは言わないから日給制でしょうね。できることだったら日給制にすれば、もしもフルタイムで1年間働かないんであるとすればね、そうであったらば日給制ですよ。だって2、30分来てパーッと帰っちゃうんですもん。名札立てていなくなっちゃう、選挙区行っちゃうんですから。
I think we should also change the pay rates for parliamentarians. If they're not going to work all year round, then they shouldn't get paid all year round. It should be maybe a monthly, or actually even better, a daily pay rate. Some parliamentarians come in for a couple of hours to parliament and then just to go back to their local electorates. If they're only going to work that much, they should only be paid that much.
そうしたらいい議員が出てきて国民も関心を持つと思う。テレビジョンもさんまだとかたけしだとかダウンタウンなんてばっかりやってないでですね、マツコ・デラックスなんてばっかりやらなくていいですから、テレビの必ずここのチャンネルは必ずやってます。国会中継全部国民は見ますよ。知りたいんだから。
If such high quality candidates would come about, then I think that the people would be interested in that and not just be focused on celebrities such as Takeshi or Downtown or Matsuko Deluxe or Sanma-san, people like this. There should be a dedicated parliamentary channel on TV, and if people if there are good parliamentarians, people would watch it.
Thank you. Yes,
Siegfried Knittel, freelancer from Germany. Mrs. Tanaka, you were the first female foreign minister in Japan. What your thoughts about the role of women in business and politics today in Japan?
Good question. Thank you. 私は自分が女性の議員であるとかあまり意識しないで来ています。女性だからアドバンテージがあったとか損してるとかガラスシーリングがあるとかあまり感じたことはないんですけれども、しかしやっぱり男性と違って子育てもそうですし、それから労働についてもいろんな観点で女性特有の物価もそうですよね。さっき言った経済の問題なんか非常に女性の独特の感覚がありますから、それから今の日本の女性は非常に well educated ですね、高学心があるしですね、頭のいい人本当多いですよね。 世界中そうかもしれませんけど、ですから女性はやっぱりその公職に就くということもありますが、学校でも民間でも社長さんでもいいと思います。私は新潟県で会社の資本金5億、従業員2000人の会社の国会議員の時からずっと実質的な社長をやっています。現在は CEO ですけれども、民間でもいいんです。国会議員にならなくても、ガバナー・オブ・東京にならなくていいんです。それぞれの分野で活躍すると社会はもっと活性化すると思う。
As the first female foreign minister, I did not really think too deeply about my status as a woman. I didn't think as a parliamentarian it gave me any advantages or disadvantages. I didn't feel that there was such a thing as a glass ceiling, but I did think that there were differences, a different perspective from that of men. For example, women are more involved in raising children, and we have a different outlook on work. We also have a different perspective on prices, which I mentioned before. Japanese women, I think probably similarly to other developed countries around the world, very, very well educated, and so they have the skills necessary to go into public office. But they don't need to necessarily just go into public office. They should be active in academia, in private enterprise, and become CEOs. I myself am a CEO of a company in Niigata with 2,000 employees, and I continued doing this job while I was in the parliament. So they shouldn't just necessarily, women should not just focus upon entering politics, but also they should be allowed to exercise their skills in all areas of life and thereby revitalize society.
James Brown, Temple University, Japan. As Foreign Minister, you had first-hand experience of the complexities and controversies of policy towards Russia. What is your opinion of Prime Minister Abe's Russia policy, and do you think it will be successful? Thank you.
安倍さんはロシアのことをあまりよく分かっていないのではないかと思います。なぜかと言いますと、今の駐モスクワロシア大使上月君というのは私の秘書官だった人で、しょっちゅう連絡がありますけれども、安倍さんは世界中飛んで歩いているけれども、どういうエイムがあって、どういうパーパスで動いているのかよく分からない。でロシアについても安倍さん何の目的で言ってんのって言うんですけれども、あまりはっきりした発信をしていないらしい。じゃあ北方四島の問題ですか。彼はすぐ言うけれど、あれポツダム宣言の後に1ヶ月後にロシアが南下してきて、ね、そして四島ハボシコクナシレトロフバーッと占拠したんですよ。そしてアメリカも時知っていますか。アメリカの書類から見たんですけど、ちっちゃな島がいくつかあります。その一つはアメリカの基地として欲しいってロシアに言ったそうですよ。そういう経緯の中で、私が外務大臣中もこの問題について鈴木宗男という人が2+2でいいんだと。ハボシコちっちゃい方は返してもらって日本に近いから、大きい方国後レトロフをあげたらいいと言ったんです。私が父と一緒に1900何年ですか、1990、1970、広下さん何年だったっけ、3年4年の時にモスクワ行きましたけど、うちの父なんかもともとは日本の土地だったんだってブレジネフにものすごい言ってたんですよ。それはあなた方が勝手に突然取ったじゃないかと。元は日本のファシリティ、また人も住んでたしお墓もあるんだから返してほしいんだということを言ってまして、そういう問題があったという経緯についてはロシアも認めるということを返事をチェアマンブレジネフが言ったんですよ。その後なぜか日本の外交の中でこう変わってきちゃってですね、いるんだけども、安倍さんがそのことを発信してロシアに行くとなると北方四島、アメリカに行くとなるとなんか拉致問題とかですね、いろんなこと言ってるんだけど、あの人政治の本質が分かってないし、日本の国益が何か、世界がどうなってるかで、だから勉強した方がいいって言うんです。もう間に合わないですけど。
Talking about Abe's position on Russia, the Russian policy, I don't know if he himself has a clear understanding of his position on Russia. The current ambassador of Japan in Russia is one of my close associates, Mr. Kozuki. He worked in my office before. Prime Minister Abe...
He was my secretary.
He was your secretary.
Yes, right.
His secretary. Prime Minister Abe travels all around the world, but I'm not sure that he understands the operations of global politics politics, of global diplomacy. I don't think he understands the purpose behind why things are moving as they are. And one of the problems is that he does not have and has not stated clearly his goals. Whenever he talks about Russia, he of course brings up the issue of the Northern Territories. But if we look back at history, Russia invaded the Northern Territories, the 4 islands to the northeast of Hokkaido, around 2 months after the Potsdam Declaration. I believe that there was some underhand trading between Russia and the United States, saying that the United States wanted to have some of these small islands for themselves to put military bases upon them. At the time that I was foreign minister and had discussions with people such as Suzuki Muneo, who made a proposal that we have a 2+2 solution, whereby we keep 2 and Russia keeps 2. This is really something that I could not understand and did not support. We need to go back to look at what actually happened in history. 1903年は誰に行ったんですか？
うちの父がプライムミニスターとして行った時、私も一緒にモスクワに行ったんです。その時に父が激烈に言ったわけですよ。
When I visited Russia with my father, when he was Prime Minister of Japan, we spoke to President Brezhnev and spoke in very, very clear terms to him about the need to return these 4 islands to us, not 2+2, but all 4 of them. There are still Japanese families' graves on these islands, and so we need to put pressure on Russia to return all of them. What has changed is not the position of Russia, but the policy of Japan has weakened since then. And so Prime Minister Abe will talk about Northern Territories whenever the issue of Russia comes up, just in the same way he will bring up the issue of abductions when North Korea comes up. But I don't think he really understands what's at the base of politics. He really should put more effort into learning about these things, but it's probably a little bit too late for him.
フリーランスの小林と申します。遅れてきたんでちょっと欠けている部分があるかもしれませんが大変失礼ですがエネルギー政策について伺いたいと思います。汚染物質非常に重大な深刻な問題であることは、もう世界、チョルノービリも含めてですね、いまだに解決の見通しが立っていないということで、その非常に深刻な事態は分かっているんですが、その原子力政策を進めた方に、お父上もいらっしゃいます。で、今後のその日本のエネルギー政策について、小泉さんが非常に積極的にですね、再生可能エネルギーで、日本の将来を賄おうという運動を進めてこのクラブにも見えましたけれども、その将来のエネルギー政策については原子力政策についてはどういうふうにお考えになりますか。小泉さんと共闘するようなお考えがありますか。
わかりました。Okay.
The speakers in the room.
Sorry.
Yes. My name is Kobayashi. I'm a freelance journalist. I came a little late, so I'm sorry if I ask a question which you already have answered, but I'd like to ask you about energy policy. As you mentioned, contamination, the issue of contamination in Fukushima is a very serious one, and there are similar issues around the world. Chernobyl is still not completely under control. I know that your father, when he was Prime Minister, was a strong advocate for nuclear power, which I think is not your position. So I want to ask your opinions about the future energy sources for Japan. The Prime Minister under which you served, Mr. Koizumi, is a strong proponent of renewables as the future fuel source of Japan. He made such statements here at this very press club. So I would like to ask your opinion about Japan's future energy policy.
はい。私の父は自分の実家のすぐそばの柏崎というところに世界最大の出力のある柏崎原発東電を持っていきました。そして安全ということを証明するためにはまず自分から引き受けなきゃいけないと、何事も結構そういう発想の人でしたからやりました。ただし当時よく茶の間で言ってたことは30年だと。私がと言ったら30年経ったら劣化すると、何か起こる、日本は地震があると、エースクウェイクがある。だからこれは危険になったら大変なことになるんだから、事件が起こったら30年ごとにすごくチェックしていかなきゃいけないものなんだということを言っていました。私が科学技術庁長官に村山内閣でなった時、日本中の原子力施設全部見に行きました。でその中で 私はずっと見てて、やっぱりゴミの問題だなと、今度 NHK の特番でもって田中真紀子が鍵長長官の時に、このゴミの問題、絶対解決しますと、ゴミがどっかで受け入れてもらいますという話をして、知事とドラフトを書いてやったでしょうと、そのことに取材に来るんで、私はまた改めて当時の資料も全部見ましたし、役所にも聞きましたけど、あの頃から、先に NHK の前に言っちゃうもんですけど、核のゴミの捨て場っていうのは見つからないだろうと。だから小泉総理が何言っておられるか知らないけど、あの方はこの福島事故の前に一度も核のゴミのことなんか言ったことないのに、よっぽど暇になったのか息子さんのために言ってるのか知らないけど、何言ってるんだろうって、解決策あるんです。私が思ってるのは、日本は地が30年って言ったけど、こんなに今も霧島かどっかで起こってます。地震が頻発してますから、20年と言わずにしょっちゅうですね、岩盤に立脚をしています。科学技術省の時、大臣中もそう答弁をしました。地震立国で予知もできないで原発で安全かと、この質問ばっかりでしたよ。だからあちこち私は抜き打ち査察で見に行きまして、これはよくよく安全を見なきゃいけない。そうすると答えは、岩盤に立脚していて、何かが言われた場合にはスクラムが起こって自動的に停止するんですと、全てがそうですよという説明を受けて、私も現場を見たからそういうふうに答弁をしてきました。しかしそうじゃなくて、福島事故が起こった後の考えを申します。はい、どうぞ。
It's true that my father was a strong proponent for nuclear power, and he put, at the time, the largest nuclear power in terms of output that was on the face of the planet right next to his hometown in the city of Kashiwazaki. And I think that it was his position that if we're going to be a proponent for nuclear power, then we should be the ones to have it in our own backyards. But as I spoke with him around the kitchen table about these issues, it came to light that these nuclear power plants decline after 30 years, and also because they are placed in a country like Japan that has so many earthquakes, if there was to be a problem or an accident, then it would lead to a very serious situation. So I had my reservations about it even then. When I was in charge of scientific affairs under the Murayama government, I visited all of Japan's nuclear sites all around the country, and the issue of nuclear waste was one that was very concerning to me. I think there's going to be an NHK special on this very issue, and in which they will probably screen footage of me saying things about how there is I found a place for nuclear waste. And because of this NHK special, I looked back at my notes and also spoke to my people about getting those facts straight so that I knew exactly what went on. Looking back, Mr. Koizumi, at the time that he was in power, didn't say one thing about the danger of nuclear power. It's only after the Fukushima nuclear power accident that he brought up this issue at all. Perhaps he has a lot of time on his hands. Perhaps he's bringing this question to light now to assist the political prospects of his son. I'm not sure, but I myself have had reservations about it for very many years. Looking just today, currently in Japan, there is an earthquake in Kyushu, Mount Kirishima. This is erupting. There are earthquakes happening all over the place that cannot be predicted. And so the only thing that we can do to avoid nuclear accidents is to make sure that the foundations of the nuclear power plants are very firmly implanted in the soil to the bedrock. And that was something that my department said was possible at the time, and that was the basis upon which I made statements in Parliament reassuring the people of the safety of our nuclear facilities.
資源エネルギー庁から一番直近の日本のエネルギーのレーシオね、どこの分野が何かっていう数字をもらいました。で、私が鍵長の時も今も地震の前も、3.3% ぐらいだから33かな 33% でしたね。そうそうぐらいでしたよ。で、私は新しいところ、さっき言ったように何度も検査をしてニュークリアパワーは 20% だと思う。その他の再生可能エネルギーはいろんなところ視察に行ってます。議員辞めてからも相当見に行ってるんです。具体的にはそのバイオマスなんかのところは相当見に行ってます。役所が親切でよく連れ回ってくれて、バイオマス、それからジオサーモン、地熱ですね。それからあとはね、小水、日本はやっぱり川がありますから、川のところでもって地域別に小水発電、こういうものはできます。 その他もちろんソーラーもあればウィンドパワーもありますけども、一番は日本の場合はやっぱりジオサーマル、地熱なんだけど温泉街が反対してお風呂に入ってくれなきゃ困るわとかですね、あるいは温泉卵が売れなくなるとか、そんなものは国が保証すればいいんですよ。きちっと全部精査して地図が出来上がってるんですよ、日本には。そういうところをきちっと見て、ここは保証しますから、ここには地熱発電所を作りますと、国がそれこそ決めたらいいんですよ。責任取る気がないから曖昧にしてるんでしょ。決めるんですよ。そしてバイオマスも海藻もですね、モスですかね、海底のモスですね、あれからも取れるし、いっぱいあるんですよ。そういう小さいけど全部足していくと大体 30% いくんですね、もっと進めれば。残りが何かといったらやっぱり火力発電ですけれど、石炭火力です。これは CO2 が出ます。この CO2 をなくすためにはどうすればいいか。私外国の大使館なんかに呼ばれると、お宅の国何やってるの聞くんです。で今この CO2 の削減というのは日本も一生懸命やってますが、一番はこれをやっぱ土の中に埋める、地中に深くパイプでこれやればですね、残りの 50% は火力でいくんですよ、当分の間ですから。私の考えでは地熱が原子力は 20%、 それから再生可能が 30%、 これ研究やればできる。残りは火力発電。
I looked at the recent statistics from the Japanese Resources Bureau, and I think that the time that I was in government, the nuclear energy accounted for around 33% or so of the output of power in the country. And when I was under the Murayama regime government, I also did random spot checks to make sure that those sites were safe. But I do think that renewables have a very important place in the for the future energy market of Japan. And since I have quit Parliament, I have still continued my interest in this area and have gone around to see many sites. The local governments are very happy to show me around their facilities, and I've seen such things as biomass generators, and especially geothermal is one that I see as one that has a great deal of potential, using Japan's many rivers to create small-scale hydroelectricity plants as well, along with, of course, solar energy and wind power, things that are possible to power the future of Japan. However, there are people in local areas who are against especially when it comes to geothermal, local onsen associations, hot spring associations are concerned that it will reduce the number of people who come to their hot spring resorts, that maybe the eggs that are cooked in the hot water might no longer sell if the people see that they're next to a geothermal power plant. But that is the kind of leadership that the government must show. They must say to these local communities that if we put a geothermal power plant in your area and you have an economic loss because of it, then we will compensate you. That's the kind of leadership we need to see from the central government, but it's something we have not seen as of yet. And the remainder of power should, of course, be provided for the time being by fossil fuels, namely coal. And of course, that puts out CO2. And as I travel around the world, I ask my friends, how are those countries dealing with reducing the output of carbon dioxide? And there are many answers to that question, but I think that one of them is carbon sequestration, the burying of carbon deep in the soil. So the mix for the time being, I think, should be around 20% for nuclear, 30% for renewables, and 40% for fossil fuels for the time being.
あと一言これに付け加えると、このエネジーポリシーというものはですね、日本の姿を変えることができるチャンスになると思うんです。どういうことかと言いますと、地産地消でですね、地方でさっき言った川の発電でありますとか、ソーラーでもいいですし、バイオマスやるところはそこで使えばいい。東京、大阪ないですからね、ニュークレアプラントもないし。そうするとそちらの方が安く電気を使える、地方で地域によって。そうしたら工場も学校も移転しますよ。そうすると都会の過密、地方の過疎も解決して、電気料金によって安いところに学校も企業も会社も病院も行くようになったら、相当この過疎過密も解決するのではなかろうかと思いますが、いかがですか。
I also think that this change in our energy policy is an opportunity for us to change the face of Japan itself. There is the idea that you should consume things in the place that they are produced. It's the philosophy of Chisan Chisho in Japanese, and that goes for things like small-scale hydroelectric, solar, where you can generate electricity in the same region where it is consumed. And that means that, for example, that's not possible in big cities like Tokyo or Osaka. They don't have nuclear power nor the capacity for such small-scale generation. But in the regions, they can have these small-scale energy projects which provide local consumers with very cheap electricity, which will then lead to businesses, factories, schools wanting to come to these areas, the very same areas which are now experiencing a population decline. So a change in Japan's energy policy is also a chance for us to reverse the declining population in our regions. What do you think about that as a proposal?
Thank you very much. I think this wraps up our event today. I'm sorry if there are questions, but we have to finish it right now. I would like to take this opportunity to give you one year honorary membership. Please run to the Diet again and come to speak as a candidate for the Prime Minister in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. ありがとうございます。ここにちょっと今日一つお土産を持ってきました。これは4回も読んでいただいたので光栄なので、私が色紙を今朝書いてきました。
Thank you very much. As a token of my appreciation, I would like to give you this calligraphy, which I wrote myself this morning.
これはold Chinese proverb. It says goodwill brings happiness という意味です。Anybody from China? 人民日報いませんか？今日いないですか？これをお礼に差し上げます。ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. This is a token of my appreciation.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, thank you for this card.
Thank you.